Hello, welcome back. A long overdue Druidry video. Today is a fun one. Can Druids spill the tea? Let's start by just talking about what does spilling the tea mean. So the phrase spilling the tea is believed to have African American Vernacular English roots, or AAVE origins, which has then permeated through the LGBT community and then into the rest of the world, which is generally how it goes. The word tea is synonymous with gossip, secrets, truth, scandal sometimes. Didn't know what that was. So spilling the tea is like spilling secrets, or tell me what you know. In this video I'm going to talk about whether Druids can engage in, participate in, consume, even create internet tea spilling videos. Throughout this video, please remember that I am just one Druid, and Druids as a whole, while we generally agree on maybe large concepts, we all practice a bit differently. Just like any other person of faith, we're all individuals, so I'm only speaking for me, my experiences, my thoughts and my opinions. To be honest, mostly I'm just raising questions more than answering them, but Druids are allowed to disagree with each other, and I would actually love to have that discussion in the comments. By and large, Druids are aiming for peace and harmony. And harmony doesn't just mean with the person next to me, friends, family and humanity, it also means with the wider earth and then spirit and deity too. Is spilling the tea peaceful? No, not particularly. No, there are some scandals that are called spilling the tea, but actually what they're doing is like crime prevention. For example, when someone has had inappropriate interactions with somebody under the age of 18 and that comes out, a lot of people might call that spilling the tea. I think that's a bit different. That's not really what I'm talking about, but because there's always one, I will make a note each time this comes up. But just talking about general internet drama, like somebody lied on the internet, let's make a gossip video about it. Is that particularly peaceful? No. And not just for the person on the receiving end of it, for the person making the video too. It's not really very peaceful. But having to become so invested in someone else's life, like I'm very lucky that generally with my channel, when I'm out and about, no one's texting me like, oh no, this thing has happened, you must make a note of it, or like, oh, you've missed it for your... Like, no, I can put this down and it'll be fine. But specifically channels that devote themselves to making internet drama videos, while I have to commend your dedication, it doesn't sound very peaceful. Even if you might be enjoying it, like just this could drop any minute. It's not really my idea of peace, and that's just like, is it peaceful for me? Is it peaceful for the world? Not particularly. But I do also have to hold my hands up that I have watched and consumed it and probably will again in the future. There are sometimes it's just really interesting, even if it's not peaceful. Anyway, in most cases the point of a tea spilling video is to stir up drama, which just isn't peaceful, and it's not conducive to the end goal or the life goal of Druids and Druidry. Some can even argue that just watching it in the background as background noise and maybe not even paying attention is peaceful. But what you have to remember is views are views. Again, use myself as an example. I don't know whether the first 10 views are people sitting and watching, or whether it's autoplay on a TV while you're asleep over there. I don't know. I choose to believe that they are active viewers and they want to watch it. They have chosen to watch it and they are watching and enjoying. I am not the only one who does that. Any view will be taken as there is interest for this. So even choosing to put it on and then not paying attention is choosing the drama. So I'm a pagan druid. Not all druids are pagan. A lot of them are. And I'm an ex-Wiccan, but I still follow that Wiccan read of do what ye will, harm none. Is spilling the tea harmful? Yes. Almost certainly yes. Being on the receiving end of a drama, gossip, tea spilling video or scandal video cannot feel good. And I know there's going to be the exception where people do things on purpose to provoke these videos being targeted at them. We're all probably thinking of the same person, but they are very much the exception. Most of the tea videos that end up either like in my sphere, in my like recommended, on like my Reddit feed, even like sometimes on Instagram, they're not directed at people who are obviously deliberately doing it. Even when these tea spilling videos are about exposing predators, there is still an air of harm that comes about for victims, survivors, and their family and friends. Because what was relatively unknown about and what was private to them is now all over the internet. And that's harmful sometimes, especially if there are names or usernames or screenshots or faces, because that will follow you. Having it go viral can bring up bad memories, bring up experiences for the victims of that particular scandal, and then other people who've experienced it as well. It then is all over the internet just for anyone to find. And then you have that really fun part where survivors are not always believed, or the fans of the person called out for this find the survivors on social media and they go and say horrible things to them, which is causing harm. Even if the intent wasn't to do that, it is still there. Nobody's perfect. Everyone's behaviour will cause harm to somebody eventually, probably multiple times, and mine has. It's not great. Sometimes it's unavoidable, especially if you don't mean to do it. Doesn't make you a bad person, but it's just one of those things. And then of course, because there's always one, sometimes allegations are false. It does happen. It's rare. Sometimes people get facts a little bit incorrect. Sometimes you get someone's name wrong. It can be as easy as that. It happens, and that can cause harm too. Can spilling the tea prevent harm? Yes, it also can do that. So, for example, I have recently been watching Catfish. Again, it is one of my guilty pleasures. And it does prevent harm in the way that it stops people from faking who they are. It exposes people who are dishonest, which can prevent further harm. It stops the harm there and prevents the further harm. You can also expose people who have interacted inappropriately with somebody under the age of 18. Saying it like that because I don't particularly want to get flagged for that. Exposing that means that people are less likely to fall victim to that. They're gonna see that name, that face, that person on the internet and be like, nope. So we can prevent harm that way. I don't think it'll ever fully prevent harm because people's feelings are gonna get hurt. And in the case of interacting poorly with under 18s, the perpetrator don't really care about their feelings, not gonna lie, last thing on my mind. But the family, the victim, the friends, the people that could have sworn they were a good person, but they were wrong about that, that's still not gonna be great. But preventing further harm is what's important there. So let's look at the Druid's Prayer, shall we? Grant, O Spirit, thy protection. And in protection, strength. And in strength, understanding. And in understanding, knowledge. And in knowledge, the knowledge of justice. And in the knowledge of justice, the love of it. And in the love of justice, the love of all things. And in the love of all existences, the love of Great Spirit. Sometimes the words in that prayer change, and that's okay. But that is how I have learned it and how I practice it. Protection. Does spilling the tea protect people? Sometimes it does, like the examples we have just discussed. but does making a gossip video about someone badly vlogging someone else's wedding protect anyone? I don't think it does. Perhaps it might, but sometimes these videos seem so niche and so irrelevant to anything that could possibly go on in my life. Strength. Does it make me stronger as a person to watch an internet drama video? I don't think it does. However, it might make a survivor feel much stronger for speaking out against something that has happened to them. And it might give them strength to know that they are helping other people. But does it make somebody stronger to make a video talking about how a baker made a mistake on an influencer's wedding cake? There was a 40-minute video about what I believe to be an innocent mistake. Does that make anybody stronger? I don't believe it does. Does it also bring strength to anyone if someone becomes a keyboard warrior to either attack the person on the end, the receiving end of the tea spilling, or vice versa? Does it make anybody stronger to become a keyboard warrior to defend the person on the other end of it? I don't believe it does. Would you say that to their face? Would you sit there for 40 minutes and tell these two people to their face the drama that's happened between them? Understanding. This is a step that I think most tea spilling videos kind of forget about. I haven't seen a tea spilling video where someone's personal circumstances were even speculated on in a compassionate way. For example, a lot of the videos I've seen are speculating whether somebody has lied on the internet for attention. Whether that's the right thing to do or not, whether that's okay or harmful, that case by case basis. But has anybody ever wondered why somebody would have lied on the internet for attention? There was an episode of, I think it's 911, where an influencer lied about moving house. It was a good episode. It was a good episode. I forget which season and episode it was, but it was good. Basically, this influencer lied about moving house so that she would look rich and good on the internet. But why she was doing that was because she felt really lonely, she didn't have many friends, there was stuff going on at home and she just needed a pick-me-up. And I've never seen an internet tea spilling video look compassionately at maybe why somebody did what they did. And it's very different as well with celebrities who sort of have everything. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily happy or that everything's going well, but they're not talking about this. There's no understanding of why somebody might have done this. The exception being, well, the under 18 cases and the financial fraud. But if someone lies on the internet for attention, it would be good to understand why they wanted attention in the first place and why that was the only way they felt they could get attention. And being compassionate to that is very important. And having that understanding is also very important to Droidry, but I think just being a good human being in general. Knowledge, sure, sometimes there are facts, sometimes there are screenshots and receipts or video evidence. Okay, but we are missing context a lot of the time. And how can we be sure that these videos, these 14-minute videos, are full of facts and not just speculation and hearsay? And the knowledge of justice. This is a really difficult one that I could spend hours talking about. I won't. The aims of these videos are often perceived justice. And what does justice look like? Do we know what that means? What does justice look like? If we're talking about, let's say, the influencer sphere, with all of these tea spilling videos about, oh, someone lied about how much they enjoyed a lipstick. What is the perceived justice there? Is it leaving the internet forever? Because I've seen videos where that is the goal, is that they highlight things they don't like about somebody in the hopes that they will stop existing on the internet. Or is it that they want an apology? Will an apology be enough? Will changed behaviour actually be enough? And this also goes into the love of justice. Will we love the end result? Will everyone involved love the end result? Do we actually love the end result, or do we love the power that we've had to influence that result? Let's say someone has lied on the internet for attention. They did it in one video, one out of, let's say, 50. And because of that one video, they have now left the internet. They no longer make money from their videos, they've deleted everything, they no longer have a source of income. They no longer have their community that they have built. I don't think they love that result. And even perhaps as a viewer of that content, knowing that that's what's happened on the other end, I don't love that. I don't love the idea that someone loses everything based on a video about gossip. Obvious exceptions included. Is it really justice if it's misdirected? If someone's got a name wrong or something just isn't correct or we've just missed a whole thing of context, is it still justice if someone's life has been ruined based on something being not quite correct? If people feel bullied into silence, is that just? If one mistake follows you across the internet forever, is that just? If your one mistake follows your family across the internet forever, is that just? You can only love justice if it is just, and it can only be just if it's fair and right. Does everyone deserve a fresh start? Big, big questions. Big, big questions. Just something to think about. The love of all existences. Does watching a video on someone's life make you love that person, or does it make you hate that person? If I watched a video about, I've seen hundreds of videos recommended about someone that I have watched videos of being accused of faking their mental illness. I don't think watching those makes the viewers want to love that person. I think it might make them want to maybe hate that person. It's not very conducive to love of all existences to watch or make these tea spilling videos. And then love of great spirit, this probably won't apply to everybody, but does it bring you closer to spirit or deity or whatever bigger than you believe in? Does it bring you closer to deity or does it distract you from it? I did once sit down to do a Gwers from the Obod course, and then I got distracted for 4.5 hours on, it wasn't quite tea spilling videos, but it was just like, it was in the same sort of vein. I guess it might have been tea spilling, I forget what it was now. But I got to the end of it and I was like, oh god, I was supposed to do something else. Now I'm not in the mood. Don't feel particularly druidy or magic now. So it can detract from your love of deity, if that is something that is important to you. With all of that being said, I then also have to admit that I have watched some tea spilling videos. I have. We all have. Does that make me a bad druid? No. No, I don't believe it does, because it's not about being perfect all the time. I can call myself a druid even if I'm an imperfect druid, but that's not an excuse to not try and do my best and be good. You'll be pleased to know I'm not here to judge you, because that's also the point. It's just about doing what feels the most right to you. So, if you have enjoyed that video and the suspicious change in lighting, like this video, drop a comment with your thoughts down below. Subscribe to my channel for just videos that talk about whatever once a month, sort of whenever. Yeah, the outro is not quite as good as it was in the old days.